Oxygen levels.
Oxygen levels are at 100%.
Set a course to Dark Waters 9.
All across the Earth, we find structures that don't make sense. Doors 20 feet high, steps too tall for a human stride. Stones weighing hundreds of tons, carved and moved with impossible precision. Historians say these were built by man. But what if the truth is much bigger? Ancient texts tell of a race of giants, the Nephilim, the Anakim, the Titans beings who walked among us before the Great Flood. And according to legend, they built the world that came before ours. The cathedrals of Europe, the temples of Egypt, the massive foundations buried beneath our modern cities, all said to be remnants of a civilization that wasn't human. Old newspaper archives from the 1800s even mention discoveries of giant skeletons. 10, 12 feet tall, bones quietly taken by the Smithsonian, never seen again. Look at the architecture of the old world, the grand arches, the enormous windows, the doors built for something far taller than we are. It's as if we inherited a world made for giants, and we've been living in their ruins ever since. If this is true, it would mean history was rewritten, that after the cataclysm, after the mud flood, humanity rebuilt on top of a world that once belonged to another race. Maybe the truth about the giants was never lost. Maybe it was buried, because if we knew who really built the old world, we might start asking questions we're not supposed to.
Exactly how many resets happened? What type of events were there? Some people speak of ancient angelic wars that might have popped off on Earth. Could there be evidence of burned civilizations to be a testimony to that?
The shell grotto of Margate is a mysterious passageway lined with an estimated 4.6 million seashells, arranged in intricate geometric and symbolic patterns that shimmer in the dim light like a mosaic of living coral. Discovered in 1835 by pure accident, its origins, purpose, and builders remain completely unknown. No document, record, or local legend predating its discovery gives even a hint that it existed. The story of its revelation is as strange as the place itself. A local man named James Newlove was digging a duck pond in his garden when his son fell through a hole that opened beneath the ground. When Newlove lowered a lamp and followed, he found a passage winding deep into the earth, its walls and ceilings entirely coated with seashells, all pressed into a thin layer of plaster. What he had entered was a subterranean temple of sorts. A 70-foot winding tunnel leading to a rectangular central chamber with a domed roof and a small altar-like niche. To this day, no one knows who created it or when.
The shell grotto, but it's kind of giving me cathedral vibes, like how the cylindrical ceiling looks. Like they'll almost put the same effort into cathedrals. And all these shells plastered or however they're put on there, that took some time. Lots of time and lots of seashells. Where did they get all the seashells? That's a question too. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I love hearing what you guys got to say, honestly.
Guys, this is insane. This is a beam of electrons that is being kept going around in a circle using magnetic fields. Here's a side view so you can see it's going in a circle. If I give the electrons some initial velocity to the left, you can see they actually go in this spiral pattern. This is insane. Electrons actually move in a helix under a uniform magnetic field if they have some sideways velocity. And then from the front, look at that. Look at that beautiful helix. You can control the motion of charged particles using magnetic fields. This is one of the coolest things ever. Now if I twist it back, you can make it go back to a almost exact circle. And that only happens when the velocity of the electrons is exactly perpendicular to the magnetic field which goes in and out. Now if I turn off the magnetic field, you will see the electrons will just fly off in a straight line. Let's see. See that? And then I turn back it up. Look at that. That's just beautiful. Guys.
Interesting. It almost looks like it's in some sort of dome. This reminds me about the video we did a couple days ago where we're talking about black rock being a vortex in the middle of the ocean. How cool would it be if this was like a toroidal energy going over black rock, and it slowly, was siphoning in the water and the magnetic energy? Because we all know what torus fields do, right? What if the Earth was a giant toroidal field, and it used the same magnetism used in this experiment to produce that vortex somehow? How crazy would that be? I mean, it is in the dome. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, man. I think we're getting closer and closer every day to more videos we watch. Talk to me. Speaking about black rock, could it be a possibility that it was a giant world tree as well?
Now I tell you, these gigantic tree stumps are everywhere. This island was not created by something volcanic, because this people is a giant tree stump. Just look at the tree rings and tell me, why do they look like they're magnified 1,000 times? And whether we choose to believe it or not, there was a world of giants at one time.
Many of you are asking me once again how such photographs could have possibly been taken, questioning the year, how they were able to hold still for the photos, as well as the means of their capture. To start, all of these photos were taken within the walls of St. George's Keep, a perilous dungeon of monsters run by the Sons of Man, a secret Catholic order dating back to the Crusades. These beasts were all locked in place either by conventional chains or some by magic binding sigils to hold them. Now, while 19th century camera equipment was primitive by today's means, by the mid to late 1800s, it was very possible to take a photo in just a couple seconds. And of course, the vast wealth and power of the Catholic Church afforded them technology, undreamed to others even during the era, leaving only the question of these monsters' capture. The answer lying in the Paladin Order of Charlemagne, a 1,000-year brotherhood that stood into the late 1800s. Magically imbued, superpowered knights dating back to the Holy Roman Empire. These wholly empowered super warriors were able to capture the various monstrosities and bring them to the keep for study. My ancestor Harold Oldry, a hunter of the Sons of Man, collected these photographs into an album and kept it, passing it down through various generations of the family, as well as some of their supernatural allies, until it eventually found its way to me, and by extension all of you. Many of you are asking me once again how.
I'm not too sure if these photos are actually real, but man, this would make an excellent Netflix series. They would go crazy with this. I would watch it. It would be like some type of like Van Helsing series. I would love that, actually. Did you guys hear what happened about Netflix, by the way? Check this out. Fire Marshal Bill, let me show you that shot. Netflix, Warner Brothers. You better Warner Brother. You remember those old school shirts? It'd be like SpongeBob all gangster, and you'll see another one with the WB symbol, and you'll see on the back, you better Warner Brother if you see the police. But hey, check this out. That means, check this out, Netflix to purchase Warner Brothers Film and Television Studios. So that means Netflix could potentially own, I don't know, all or a majority of all of DC, Harry Potter, and there was one more, Game of Thrones. So does that mean they're gonna take away my HBO Max where I watch my Lord of the Rings? They better not. You could always count on HBO Max for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the HBO trilogy. Is that going to come to Netflix? Not only did Netflix has agreed to buy Warner Brothers, but it also includes game developers behind Mortal Kombat and Hogwarts Legacy. Interesting. How crazy would it be if we had a Netflix gaming system coming out?
Elon Musk said something so shocking at this event. The audience must be completely clueless for them to go along with this rather than start heckling and saying, what the Sam damn are you thinking? Listen to this interview or this clip. It's absolutely shocking, and we're going to unpack it.
I think we may be able to give people, if somebody's committed a crime, a more humane form of containment of future crime, which is if you say like you now get a free Optimus, and it's going to follow you around and stop you from doing crime.
If you're not sure what an Optimus is, it's those robots he made recently.
Other than that, you get to do anything. It's just going to stop you from committing crime. That's really it. You don't have to put people in like prisons and stuff. It's pretty wild to think of the various of all the possibilities, but I think it's clearly the future.
So there's going to be a RoboCop that follows you if you're on probation, I guess. And if you're thinking about going on the line, it's going to stop you somehow. That's what I'm getting.
Now, Optimus is that goofy little robot standing next to him. His idea is that criminals will have a robot following them around to prevent them from doing future crime. For one, how is this goofy little thing supposed to stop you from doing crime? But for two, I don't even think he was being serious about this. I think this is predictive programming or conditioning. Get ready for robots to police you. And whether that's in the form of AI policing us, like through our phones, through the internet, AI controlling what we say, what we can't say, getting us in trouble for things we say or think or type or research, etc. Or really conditioning us for like robo-cops. Remember Minority Report, when you would get in trouble for pre-crime? Before the crime was committed, you get like sentenced and the cops come after you and whatnot? Minority Report. Now here's the thing with Elon Musk that no one really wraps their head around.
That's a pretty crazy movie, Minority Report. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. I was watching Terminator yesterday, the first one. You know, I need to go through the whole Terminator series because this stuff's lining up too much.
Around seemingly. Many of you guys probably will, but the vast majority of people have no idea. The guy claims in multiple interviews that AI is the greatest threat to humanity. He then proceeds to make brain implantable microchips, self-driving cars, and his whole thing centered around artificial intelligence. It's like warning you about a forest fire while they're stoking the flames of a campfire next to the forest. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. What's interesting though,
Cali smart cities, Hawaii smart cities,
is that he's portrayed as this freedom-fighting dude. Woo! Brain implantable microchips. What don't you understand about that? And the selling point is that it's going to make you superhuman, or it's going to help people who like can't use their arms. But if we put a brain microchip in there, they'll be able to move their arms again. It's going to be good for humanity. No, it will not make you superhuman. Merging with artificial intelligence will make you inhuman. You will no longer be fully human if you merge with AI, which is the plan, the mark of the beast.
Cyborgs. The creation of cyborgs. Borgs, or as they're called on Star Trek. But that's another series we got. Man, we need a watch party, man. If I can get away with doing watch parties on here of all the greatest hits, man, I would do it.
Never let anyone move into your home. It doesn't matter if you want to help them. It doesn't matter if they're family, friends, or people you've known for years. Sooner or later, things change, and peace turns into tension. When someone crosses the threshold of your space, boundaries begin to fade. Disrespect appears quietly, comfort turns into conflict, and what once felt noble becomes heavy. No one truly values what costs them nothing, and when you share your home too easily, you also give away your control. Helping others is good, but not when it costs your peace. Be kind, be generous, but do it outside your walls. Your home is not a shelter for chaos. It's a sanctuary for your spirit. It's where your mind rests and your soul recovers. Protect it, because the moment you let others live where your peace was built, you invite storms into the place meant for calm. And here comes the most important part. Your home is sacred. Protect it like your soul. Once its peace is broken, it's never the same again. Never let anyone move into your home.
That is controversial if you ask me. It's either you love it or you hate it. You know, it makes a lot of sense, but it also is, how's that saying go? You know, it's however big your heart is that's how much room you have in your house. You know, some people genuinely need help for a little bit, and some people do take advantage of that. But at the same time, Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with this 100%? Or do people deserve a second chance? Is it worth the storm you have to go through to help somebody? Or it might not even be a storm at all. It might be a peaceful transitioning into helping somebody genuinely. You know, that doesn't talk about people going through bad breakups, losing their jobs, you know, or even your parents. You know, you just don't want them to go into a nursing home. You know, sometimes it's worth the storm, or even, like I said, bring you even closer. It might be worth a little bit of storm just knowing that your mom isn't in a nursing home, or a family member's out on the streets just walking and sleeping, you know?
Ancient Egyptian tombs inside the Grand Canyon? That's what an explorer found right before the government closed the area off from the public. Way back in 1909, the Arizona Gazette reported a story of a miner, G.E. Kincaid, looking for gold in the Grand Canyon. While journeying down the river, he came across what looked like steps carved into the canyon side, so he decides to check it out. The steps, he claimed, were perfectly carved, not a natural formation, and as he approached the top, he came across a man-made cave entrance, which do exist all around the Grand Canyon, but this one was different. He went inside, turned on his light, and saw tunnels chiseled with perfect architecture and more branching paths deeper inside. He kept going until he comes across an enormous room several hundred feet long.
Just like the video with those seashells, you know, it's all these underworld civilizations that are buried. Man, who knows how many is out there that we still haven't uncovered. I'm just waiting, you know. Probably in the nearby future, they're going to be like, oh, huge announcement, another city found underground, all these different artifacts, or they're just not going to tell us about it. They probably have been discovering stuff, probably a lot more recently, but they just aren't making it public.
In the middle stood a giant statue of what looked like Buddha, holding lotus flowers in each hand. Now, Buddha has nothing to do with ancient Egypt, which actually makes this more of a mind trip, but we're getting there, I promise. This looks like it was an ancient underground city, which actually exists all around the world in places like Derinkuyu in Turkey. Kincaid was amped. This gotta be the discovery of the century, so of course he leaves and asks for funding to explore more from the Smithsonian, the world-leading museum research and education institute, the gatekeeper of archaeological findings, made by the US government, who gladly agreed. They send a team of scientists and miners led by S.A. Jordan to fully excavate this mind-blowing discovery. With this team backing the expedition, Kincaid goes back to the caves and realized he barely scratched the surface. He left extremely detailed journal entries describing the whole excavation, with hallways up to 12 feet wide and large oval doorways throughout the underground complex. During this excavation, they find full-size rooms which appear to have been made for dining, winding halls with detailed architecture, and artifacts like pottery, urns, and to their surprise, copper tools and swords, along with rooms built for metalwork. All signs of an ancient civilization far more advanced than what should have been here at the time. But then they find this: Egyptian hieroglyphs carved and painted on the walls, and stone tablets with similar hieroglyphs engraved. And then finally what appeared to be a crypt, filled with little cubby holes in the walls, each containing mummies of giant humanoids, some even being reported as reptilian looking. Yeah, Egyptian tombs in the Grand Canyon. They call this complex the Citadel, and by the end of their expedition, hundreds of rooms were discovered, estimated to house up to 50,000 people. They determined that, of course, this must be the remains of an advanced civilization that were here before the natives, and somehow brought the knowledge of the ancient Egyptians from the other side of the world into the Americas. G.E. Kincaid and S.A. Jordan presented their...
I just have to interject real quick, but this reptilian statue they found inside is absolutely wild. We may have to dig a little deeper on that after this clip.
Who obviously did not like the sound of that and denied further excavation. Egyptian hieroglyphs spotted outside of Egypt? Absolute nonsense, right? Maybe, but this isn't the only time that such a claim was made. Like the Gosford hieroglyphs carved into rock in Australia, which look almost identical to that of the Egyptians. It's hard to tell exactly how old they are, but of course they're labeled a hoax. Someone else carved them here a few years ago to trick the world. Or the written language of the Mi'kmaq, a Native American tribe that lived along the Atlantic coast, which shares a baffling number of similarities with Egyptian hieroglyphs. Two cultures that allegedly had no contact among each other. This one was just a coincidence, of course. Just like the Fuente Magna bowl found in Bolivia with Proto-Sumerian cuneiform script writing on it. That's ancient Mesopotamian writing uncovered in South America. So artifacts of ancient Middle Eastern civilizations found in the Americas have happened, but we just ignore them. To this day, the Smithsonian denies this expedition in the Grand Canyon ever happened. And the stories of the explorers are of course deemed a hoax. So is any of this real? The native indigenous people seem to think so. Native American tribes like the Navajo Navajo, Zuni, Acoma Pueblo have legends of a race that existed there before them, even citing the Grand Canyon specifically as the place where the first people emerged from. These myths all speak of either a race of reptilians, yes, we're in lizard people territory now, or giants that civilized the area, building underground cities to protect themselves. The Hopi tribe even have a story about a sky god who, after a series of cataclysms, emerged from a moving star and took the tribe to underground caves in the Grand Canyon region to protect them. The Havasupai people believe the canyon is the home of the Supai, the spirit of their ancestors. The Paiute culture got the legend of the Havmusubs, who also lived in an underground city and had silver tubes that shot lightning that could end a man's life and silver canoes in the sky, which all line up perfectly with the flood myths, not to mention UFO sightings, around the world where godlike beings descend from the sky and gift civilization to humanity. And is exactly why the Smithsonian cringes at the thought of admitting to this, because it would imply that cultures like the ancient Egyptians had overseas contact with the Americas, completely destroying their current narrative of isolationism, which states that groups of humans evolved independently of each other all around the world. Today, this section of the Grand Canyon has some interesting official names for the formations found here, like the Tower of Set, Horus, Isis Temple, Ra, the Cheops Pyramid, all Egyptian names, and these formations have the weirdest, most interesting shapes, unlike those found in any other canyon. Alright, enough yapping. Where is this cave, and can't we just go to it today to prove this once and for all? Really thought it was that easy, huh? The exact area where the citadel would be found has, of course, been marked off limits by the government. The Grand Canyon has hundreds of man-made caves all over it that are confirmed real, with only 30 that have been officially mapped out, some of which are sealed with steel gates for safety.
I wonder what's in the other 75.
When amateur explorers tried checking out the region, planes and helicopters would appear out of nowhere over areas designated as no-fly zones, some claiming they can even spot remnants of pyramids and other ancient structures in the cliffs of the canyon, implying the Grand Canyon may actually be the site of a bustling ancient city. Rumors of ancient Egyptian remains in underground cities in the Grand Canyon, government closes the area off, and then planes and drones are found scouting the area. Are they hiding something from us, or am I just gonna get stitched into another Mr. Know-It-All debunking video?
I mean, it's good to theorize, right? Because it is a deep rabbit hole that, why else would it be blocked off in the Grand Canyon?
Our ancestors crossed portals.
And the evidence is these spectacular ancient recordings, which have recently come to light as part of the mysterious Silakan Project 8867, where thanks to several government projects in times already past, several humans would have already crossed portals, even traveled to another dimension, and what we see in these incredible footage would be the proof of it.
Our ancestors crossed portals.
And the evidence.
I want to believe that this is ancient footage, or the first footage of what it looks like they're making portals flying through stuff. Yeah, I want to believe. Or what if this was footage from beyond the wall? That would be crazy. Hey guys, huge shout out to Abandoned World Explorer. Be sure you check them out where they do some more amazing content into the unknown, because we love diving into all types of mysterious stuff ourselves. Without further ado, let's dive into this forgotten castle in the mountains, allegedly Dracula's.
Abandoned castle. This place was built in 1029. This castle was in the same family up until the 18th century, and then during the 19th century it fell into despair. Even got a wishing well. Look at this. Just everything. Honestly, it just feels like I've paid to come on a tour. So this looks like may have been a main way into this place. But here, look at this, guys. We are in the dungeon, and now that explains there when I'm looking down the well. But these, is that hanging meat up on? Or was it humans? Oh, wow, guys. Look at this, there's two thrones here, look at that. Look at those beautiful beams. Look at those beautiful beams up there. I'm loving this. Look at this table. It's 10-seat. Let's take these steps up here, guys.
It had red candles. Did you see that?
I love these as well. These are off like the old horse and carriages. So it'd be at the front of your carriage. Wow. This is probably one of my most favourite spots of Italy so far. Honestly, that's what this is like. Yeah, we're right off the cliffs. See what else we can find. I'm in love with this place. What can I say? I'm impressed. Big time impressed. It's like it's maybe a bit you can stay in, I'm not sure. Oh no. Guys, look at this. Come on. It's even got its own little chapel. I cannot believe how much stuff is literally left behind here. This is a very beautiful painting.
It's almost like someone's still living there.
And here we've got, oh wow, I know exactly what this is. This is to raise the old door. Okay, we're going
Oh, it's like a drawbridge. This is insane.
up to the wall, guys. So if we were under attack now, the soldiers would be rushing up here. So even though we're trusting this, we're walking up here, but any time these walls could just go. So I nearly missed this as well, guys. Look, this beautiful statue standing up here. And just how a wild tree now is growing in front of her.
Bro, they must have filmed a movie here. Like,
You could easily film a movie here.
It's so bizarre.
What is this section here? Right here. Near enough 5 years now this place has been left. But it's still very clean in here, to be fair. And this is what I'm talking about. So this was pretty much how it looked as a ruin. Fully all overgrown. Wow. I can't get over it. I'm like a big kid right now. But yeah, I'm guessing this is where they would have been. This is the information bit. But look, guys, come on. There's still beautiful furniture here. God, look at
Looks super uncomfortable. Like, did they take the cushions away or what?
that. I wonder what that slot was fused for. It goes all the way down. You can see
Like drainage. Like they drained something up there?
the next floor down. Oh! So I didn't even hear you downstairs.
But he pulled out a crossbow?
Yeah, he got me, guys. Oh, wow. Gee, guys, you don't want to go out there. Look at that. I literally feel like I could give up my life back at home in UK, in the south, and live right here. Look at it, though.
No 5G hitting you, fresh air. You know, it's not hard to imagine. I get it.
This place needs saving. It really does. I mean, we must be so bloody high right now. Wow. Does this go this way or? It does. Gee, guys, come on. So here's a little town, so I'm going to not stand here too long, so I don't want to be seen up here.
The vantage point of every single castle. It's like they could literally pick wherever they wanted to put these castles at and build them. Because just how these castles are always placed on top of a mountain is just mind-blowing to think how they tried to build it back in the day. Immense amount of work, or airships if you ask me.
But there's literally nothing else. This is it. Just me, nature, and the castle.
There's the vantage point right there. You can see something coming from all sides. It's just mind-blowing.
Abandoned castle.
Again, huge shout out to Abandoned World Explorer. Be sure you check them out on YouTube. That was a very interesting and exciting dive. If you thought we didn't have another excellent specimen for you today, think again. All right, you guys see it. Beautiful aquamarine crystal we are looking at. Almost, you can see the hint of blue, just a tiny bit of hint of blue. You know, not much, but it's there. Almost giving the illusion of purified seawater. Just lake water. Crystal clear lake water. If you would name the specimen, what would you name it? If I had to name it, I would call it the dilithium crystal. Yeah, like you gotta plug it into some type of chamber to activate hyper boost, you know? That's just what I'm getting from looking at it. That's all we have for today's video. If you made it this far, the code word is adventure. Go ahead and drop adventure in the comments below. When you do that, that lets me know you're a real one. You made it all the way through the video, and I just want to say thank you for your support. You really rock with me. I'm trying to go live soon, so it's probably going to be either tonight or tomorrow or Sunday. We're going to work on going live, so be sure to head over to Jet Ski Chuck. Be sure your notifications are set to all so you don't miss any of the excitement, because, you know, we go back and forth and we get to diving deep, and, you know, it's a great time. I love it, and I do look forward to it. We're overdue for one. And I just want to say thank you, guys. This was the most mysterious TikToks on the internet today. See you later.